Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today to discuss a pervasive yet often overlooked topic that affects our daily life: noise. Before that, I am Amarizalka binti Asman and I will be presenting my final year project with title Noise Exposure Among Workers in Small Medium Enterprise.
Numerous studies have highlighted the alarming prevalence of this disease among individuals who has been exposed to excessive noise in their workplace over extended periods of time. In particularly, the impact of occupational noise disease is especially pronounced within small and medium size of enterprise, where the risks are higher and the capacity to mitigate these hazards is lower. Noise is an omnipresent factor in many workplaces and its impact on employee health and also well-being should not be underestimated. According to Bruton 2010, noise is one of most prevalent workplace health risks with 22% ranking second after industrial hygiene in terms of risk factor for heart disease. Next, according to research conducted by Lim 2018 and Nawi 2013, show that they have a significant number of workers are diagnosed with occupational disease and they have a prolonged exposure to excessive noise. This disease can manifest in various forms, including but not only limited to hearing loss, tinnitus, and also auditory disorder. The detrimental effect of this condition extends far beyond any physical health, impacting individual emotional well-being, communication abilities, and overall quality of life. Moreover, the vulnerability of SME to severe occupational noise hazard has been widely recognized. Reinhold 2015 emphasized that small firms often face greater challenge in detecting and addressing occupational noise due to limited resource, expertise, and financial capabilities. Consequently, employees in this organization are at higher risk of suffering of occupational noise disease as preventive measure and mitigation strategy may not be adequately implemented. Next, we look into the problem statement. Ladies and gentlemen, the Factories and Machinery Noise Exposure Regulation of 1989, which was created to safeguard workers from excessive noise level, nevertheless difficult to apply in many SME. According to study by Haniza in 2013, this problem is widespread and demand quick action. Another study by Tinoco 2019 also state that the significance of individual perception and its effect on behavior in regard to the use of hearing protection device, susceptibility of hearing loss, and job performance also is often neglected. We can say that this range of hazard and exposure encountered in small business is particularly concerning due to their lack of capabilities and resource to minimize the hazard, as pointed out by the late studies in 2010. This limited capacity of SME to implement effective control measures increase the vulnerability of workers to occupational hazard, including excessive noise exposure. There are three objectives of this study. First, to determine the noise level in the workplace. Second, to analyze the relationship between the individual risk perception with the use of hearing protection device in the workplace. And third is to develop noise mapping in the workplace. Next, the study by De Roos in 2014 highlight a significant distinction between FMA 1967 and also OSHA 1994. We can see that in FMA, they are primarily focused on the technical issue related to noise control in the workplace, while the OSHA 1994 is more on the management issue related to occupational safety and health. These technical information are essential as in the identifying and also mitigating the excessive noise level in the workplace. By addressing both technical and management aspects, we can see that employers are encouraged to adopt a holistic approach to mitigate the noise hazard and protect the well-being of their workers. Next, we can see that a study conducted by Anjarin in 2015 also provide a valuable insight into the specific source of noise and machinery involved in their production. We can see that the way noise is produced in the workplace depends on the nature of the noise producing activity and the machinery used. Next, study by Law from 2019 also claimed that the ear as the organ responsible for receiving and transmit the sound signal and play a vital role in allowing our brain to interpret the individual sound and make sense of our auditory environment. But we can see that when exposed to excessive noise level, our auditory system can suffer adverse effect. Noise exposure not only impact our ability to hear and perceive sound accurately, but also a broader impact our physical, physiological and also psychological well-being. Next, I will explain on the methodology. Firstly, this study was conducted at the small enterprise located in Rembau, Negeri Sembilan. In order to identify the scope of measurement and the target group for the research, a preliminary site visit was made. And this was done to gather enough information and have better understanding about the work process and also the work environment. This enterprise have 7 employees and with their product is mainly about the cement product catered to the construction of tom industry. So to achieve our first objective is to determine the noise level in the workplace. We use sound level meter to measure the area noise level. And depending on the disparities between the maximum and the minimum value, the type of noise exposure is decided. We also distribute systematic questionnaire to utilize on how workers feel and their opinion about the working noise level. This survey was adjusted and altered from the earlier studies of Mamat 2014 and also Terpaksa 2018. And this questionnaire was contain question about demographic data and also about the working experience and also impact and hearing ability and the use of hearing protection device such as earplug and also earmuff. To assist respondents who do not speak English, the survey was translated into Malay and participants were asked to score on how strongly they agree or disagree with the statement using 5-point Likert scale in order to quantify their risk perception and also their knowledge. The survey was constructed based on our aim and also objective of the study. So our questionnaire also have 2 parts, which is part A and part B. For part A, they will fill in about their personal information about their gender, age, nationality, highest level of education, and year of employment. So for part B is about their response on the risk perception, knowledge, and others. As part B is aimed to study the risk perception of workers, this section has divided to few parts, which is include the risk perception, knowledge about noise, knowledge about hearing protection, and hearing protection device use, and also health effect from the exposure. And in order to ensure the existence of reliability that all items in the survey form can be adopted, then it has been tested using Cronbach alpha procedure. Cronbach alpha value setting is more than 0.7 to consider appropriate and also acceptable in carrying out the level of reliability as indication of the measurement of the study. For the background is analyzed using mode, percentage, and mean. Then from the data obtained, we use the Pearson correlation analysis to examine the relationship between the variable study, which is to see the direction whether the relationship between risk perception and hearing protection device use is significant or not. Then we can see that the significant level used is at the 90% confidence level or based on the p-value, where the p-value is less than the 1% confidence level, and at the p-value less than from 5 confidence level, we can say that it is significant. To achieve the objective, a noise map sketch was created to illustrate the location of noise exposure in the area workplace that below and above 85 decibels based on color zone that can be obtained from the ICOP 2019. So to achieve our first objective, we use the instrument which is sound level meter and also calibrator. So for the sound level meter, the model is from Larsen Davis, and while for the sound calibrator is the Larsen Davis CAL 2000. We move to the result and discussion. To achieve objective 1, we do the area noise monitoring. So the graph here shows the noise level monitoring at the same diagnostic area. So we can see here the source of noise at point 1 is come from air compressor 1, for point 2 is come from the air compressor 2 with the noise level is at 4.1 decibel, and for point 3 is the noise level was about 66.8 decibel come from the motor fans, and lastly the noise source is come from the sandblasting nozzle which is 89 decibel. We can see here the highest noise come from the sandblasting nozzle, while the lowest is come from the motor fans with 66.8 decibels. Noise from point 4, we can see exceed the 85 decibel, which is the noise exposure limit, while air compressor noise result also shows that it also exceeds the excessive noise limit, which is the 82 decibels. This is supported by the MAT and ASMUIN study in 2018. The acoustic noise emission is increased when the gas input diameter increase. Noise from air supply from the nozzle can be amplified in the open space. Besides that, they also claim that the blast nozzle size and inlet pressure might affect the blast efficiency. Next, we can see here the result from the noise monitoring at the production area. The highest noise comes from the metal cut-off saw, which is 97.8 dBA, while the lowest noise at the production area is come from the welding process. We can also see that noise comes from the 0.5, which is a metal cut-off saw, recorded the highest compared to the other type of machine. Next, we can also see that the reading exceeds the allowable noise exposure limit as stated in the Occupational Safety and Health Noise Exposure Regulation 2019. This also supported by the study from the Barbosa in 2017 state that other variables that could contribute to increased noise in operation include the usage of older machines with higher vibration and lack of effective regulation. It may also indicate that the improper or excessive use of abrasive blades and an unskilled operator. Next, we move to our second objective. To achieve our second objective, we distribute questionnaire to the employees. From the response, we can see that more than 60% of the workers reported to use hearing protection device, with the usage rate were higher among the women, which is 100%, and among the men, which is 60%, and about 73%, which is equal to 5% of person, were 25 to 44 years old, where another 28% equal to 2% who are below 25 years old. And the result also shows that about 57% of workers have working experience more than 5 years old. Out of all the respondents, 42% were college graduate, another 28% are secondary high school graduates, while another 28% have a basic education. The risk perception has significant positive correlation with the hearing protection device use and knowledge about hearing protection device. They also need to be aware of the importance to use hearing protection device to feel responsible to protect themselves. Then, for the analysis of hearing protection device uses, there are significant negative correlation between the hearing protection device uses and the risk behavior. We can see that maybe people who are exposed in noise during working may also be more likely to disregard hearing protection. This may due to distraction they feel during work is ongoing, such as they cannot properly communicate with each other and also cannot hear useful sound. For objective 3, from the result of area noise monitoring, noise mapping is being developed to create a visual representation of noise level. The method cut-off source, which is 1 from 0.5, produces the noise with the greatest reading, which is 97.8 decibels, followed by air supplied by the nozzle, which is 0.4, and the angle gradient 0.6 with 89.7 decibels. From the noise mapping, we also can see that formation point at point 1, point 2, and point 3, and also point 8, the noise level was between 66 until 84.1 decibels and does not exceed the NEL state in the Occupational Safety and Health Noise Exposure Regulation 2019. Therefore, the area are colored in the white. Next, we move to the conclusion. Ladies and gentlemen, the area of noise at the selected small-medium enterprise has been identified, and our data collected has shown that there is a concern with the noise pollution in the work area that can affect the workers' productivity. From the result, 4 out of 8 machine noise level shows that they have exceeded the allowable exposure limit. And for the second method, we can see that hearing protection devices were found to be strongly influenced by the individual perception of risk on the occupational noise exposure. Lastly, from the noise mapping, there were few places where the noise level were high, ranging from the 85 to 97 dBA, and those places were highlighted in red. Lastly, we will look into the recommendation, engineering control. The employer can modify or replace noisy equipment with a quieter alternative. This involves using the vibration isolation technique and also sound enclosure. Next, employers also suggest to install sound absorbing materials to reduce the sound transmission between the space, and this will help create quieter environment by prevent the noise from spreading. So that can be implemented is administrative control. The employers suggest to rotate the employees between the noisy and quieter areas to limit their overall exposure to excessive noise. Next, for the personal protective equipment, it is also suggested for the employers to provide employees with appropriate hearing protection device with at least NRR 20 decibels, such as earphone plug and earmuff that suitable for them to use for their work process. Lastly, employers also is recommended to provide education and training to employees and individuals that on the risk of associated with the excessive noise exposure, as well as proper use of hearing protection device and the benefit and the health effect from not misplaced or wrong use of the hearing protection device. That's all from me. Thank you.